watchers, welcome to Perth Watch, your horology channel broadcasting from right here in Perth, Western Australia. Today I'm featuring a San Martin. Now probably most of you don't need any introduction to this brand. They are Homage watchmakers, but at the price point in which they produce their pieces and sell their pieces, really they are one of the best I think that I have found. So guys, the watch comes in their very generic case, right? It is just a Chinese factory case. Anyway, without further ado, let's flip it around and take a closer look at what we have in here. Alright guys, so here we have the very simple, very generic packaging on the table. They tend to come in boxes like this, and it's pretty much just a sticker, nothing much more than that in terms of customization of this plastic package. And in here, you know, you're getting foam and it just sits like that, nothing very fancy. What do they give you otherwise? You know, there is a bit of a user manual, which I'm not even going to touch. A card, I think it's supposed to be the warranty, so that's a little bit different. They actually gave some tools there, and then the links I've removed along with the tag, and that's it, nothing more than that. And it's absolutely just utilitarian, which I absolutely don't mind. So guys, this is the watch here. This is of course the San Martin Spelunker, or Trailbreaker, or Adventurer. I don't know, they should come up with something, shouldn't they? I'm trying to come up with something for them, but let me know what you would call it. This is of course an homage to the Rolex Explorer, but not the current model, absolutely not the current model. This is more a vintage homage, which some people don't mind, you know, rather than homaging something that's right on the shelves or right on production. Now the retail for this, I think it's usually around $250, but very often you can find it on sale, and probably around $200 or less it's sometimes available for. And realistically, that's probably what the discussion of this watch should be focused on, around that price range. Right, okay, movement. Do I need to say more? No, I don't really. I don't think. It's a Seiko NH35A. In this case, unfortunately, it is a ghost state. There is a disc in there. I can feel it. When I pull it to the first position and turn it, you can feel the date disc you know, turning. So that's a little bit of a negative, but otherwise, what can you say? It's reasonably well regulated, just slightly slow on the 2 weeks I've had this running. Right, moving right on then. Case here. 39mm case, 38mm bezel. So just so you know, the bezel is slightly smaller than the case. It's not completely right to the edge of the case there. It's 12.8mm stick right to the top of that box sapphire crystal, 20mm lugs, and 47.5mm lug to lug distance is what this watch is. Overall weight with the 3 links that I have removed is 126 grams to suit my wrist size. Right, finishing. Polished bezel, right, with a 45-degree bevel there. It's got circular brushing on the top surface of the lugs, circular brushing on the bottom surface of the lugs, as well as that super plain Rolex copy case back there. Polish curved sides, so look at that high, nice high polish on the curved sides is what this is. Circular brushing on that oyster style case back, as you can see there. It's a solid screw down case back. It's got screw down San Martin sign crown, and they've gone for a 100-meter water resistance rating, which, you know, with that construction and screw down crown, I would be very happy taking this swimming or even, you know, kind of snorkeling, some kind of shallow diving. I think this would be fine. Right, moving right on to the dial then. This is a matte black printed details and chapter ring, and of course it's got that kind of printed style indices there. In this case it's C3 Superluminova, that's what they say it is. You know, kind of this green color, green glow. So it's not C1 white, it is actually, I guess you can say it's a bit of a faux patina, or you can call it something different, but I think it's going for a slight faux patina here. The handset here is polished Mercedes handset, a lume on all the hands and all the indices that you can see. And of course, I'm going to share a lume shot right here for you guys to see how it looks like in the dark. Right, on top of the dial here is one of the best features of this piece. I think it's a rather beautiful box sapphire crystal. You know, box edged sapphire crystal is what it is, and it's got some very nice I guess distortions that you can achieve on here. I just really like that. One of the top features, I reckon. Moving on to the bracelet, then longitudinally brushed here. So good thing is they haven't gone for a polished center. It's just completely brushed oyster style, I dare say, bracelet. You know, I guess oyster design, of course, you know, taken from the Homage. Polished sides, solid end links. It's got screw link adjustments, which is really a pleasing little thing here. So you can see screw link adjustment that they provide here. It does taper to 16 millimeters from 20 at the case, and it's got a very, hopefully you can see it, nicely machined push button deployant case with 4-point micro adjustment here. And you know, it's not just brushed there, it's got a nicely polished 45-degree bevel and San Martin signage on the clasps there. So pretty nicely done, despite it not being, I guess, as nice or as highly engineered as some of the Pagani Oyster inspired clasps here. This is actually pretty solid. Right, that's it guys. Very quick review here. Snapping on the wrist for the wrist shot for you guys, and there we go. The San Martin Spelunker Adventurer on my 17 centimeter wrist. So 39 millimeter case fits most guys very nicely. Just 47.5 millimeters on the lug to lug distance and under 13 on the thickness there. That's how this thing is looking like for me. Okay, so guys, that's the description of the watch. What are the pros here? Look, I think this is a very well executed piece for the price point. If you can get this under 200, it is very difficult to find anything that will match this. And it kind of makes it easy to see why people do rave on about San Martin. You know, it's really the best fit and finish in class at around the 200 or less price point. You know, very well fitting, very comfortable, versatile design, but you know, it's an homage design, of course. You know, they didn't really originate this, but you know, for those people who don't like homage to current models, this is an homage to a vintage model, and some people don't mind that. If it's a model that you're not going to be able to get your hands on unless you pay ridiculous prices, you know, some people think it's fair enough that you're having a vintage homage. I think this is kind of taking cues from the Rolex 6130 or 6150, but let me know if you know your vintage explorers better than me. I am by no means an expert on that. Overall, I think it's a quality package, right? Seiko movement, a very nicely done case, gorgeous sapphire crystal. I've said this already, but I think that crystal is just gorgeous. 100-meter water rating is what you're getting here, and a pretty nicely done bracelet is what I reckon this is. Now, you know, is it perfect? No, it is not. I think there are things that they could do to absolutely hit it out of the park, and this is what I reckon. In order, I think if they put some applied indices in here, not to copy the current model, but just to lift it a bit. I think if they put in a no date movement instead of ghost date for this NH35A, I think if they do a better clasp, perhaps a more homage oystery clasp, and then give us something on the case back rather than the oyster style Rolex laziness here. You know, I think if they do those things in those order, that would absolutely lift this and hit it out of the park even more. So guys, there you go, my thoughts on this excellent piece. Let's flip it around now for the wrap up. So there you go guys, my review of the San Martin Rolex Explorer Homage piece. Let me know what you think about this one, particularly if you have experiences with San Martin, or in fact you have this exact piece that I reviewed today. Would love to hear your comments and discussions below. You know, who would buy this watch? Well, look, I think if your budget is around that price point, around the 200 USD price point, and you're looking for this type of watch, this type of everyday, you know, go anywhere watch that can go, you know, from beach all the way to boardroom, I think it's very difficult to find something better. There will be a couple other brands out there, but this will be one of the best that you can find, as long as you don't mind that it is a vintage Explorer Homage. Guys, if you enjoy my videos, do consider subscribing. New content every week, always aiming to be objective and unbiased about all things horology. Thank you again for sticking with me, and as always, I'll catch you guys again next time.